Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back. March 18, 2024. Sounds like you all had quite the adventure with the snow last week, Thursday and Friday. Of course, I wasn't here. I left for Michigan for my meetings on Wednesday, and it was beautiful here. And I came back Saturday for the auction, which was amazing, by the way. Incredible. And it was beautiful, except there was a ton more snow. Although at DIA, when I landed, there was literally not one ounce of snow, zero. I mean, none. The ground was dry, and I get to my house, of course, and piles everywhere. So it sounds like some fun days here for you all. Some days off, which is kind of cool. So anyway, let me kind of dive into the calendar here. We'll just scroll down. Pretty slow week overall this week. We've got a shadow student tomorrow for sixth grade. Chapel this week. We've got the Carter Viss event. Hopefully you saw that. It's an alumni event, but I think all are welcome. That's in the pack Thursday evening, which is pretty awesome. And then we've got the art show coming up. So let me pull that up here. Zoom out a little. All right. So April 12th through 20th. Visit our school during the hours. It's while you're attending one of the two musicals, the Bye Bye Birdie, and which some of our students are in, and then Sound of Music. So it's going to be a judged art show, as you can see here. We've got drawings and illustrations, paintings, 3D sculptures, different medias. But you are welcome to participate in this. And some of you are incredible artists and should submit your work. We're all artists at heart. I get it. In our own way, totally get that. And then you just say some of you are just exceptionally talented at art, and you should submit this. So those are due, as you can see right down here, those are due March 22nd, which I believe is this Friday. So if you're going to submit it, please get it in to Mrs. Schwant. You can see her email right here. So anyway, all of that is going to happen April 20th, or 12th through the 20th. And again, those submissions are due by this Friday. So anyway, some of you are pretty spectacular artists, and I strongly recommend you submit a piece for this. So anyway, and then the book fairs this week. You can see right there, book fairs this week. You may be in there if you are purchasing a book. It is not just to wander through, and they sometimes have those things that you can grab, like the sticks with the fingers and like all this fun stuff. If you are in there to purchase a book, you may be in there. If not, you may not be in that book fair. That is for people purchasing books only. And so thank you very much for cooperating with that. And then finally, obviously, there's a ton of snow out there. Snowball rules apply on the far south side near the main entrance. That is the snowball area. There are no other snowball areas. So if you are down there, great. And then for those that have really strong arms, I would ask you to be considerate of others. That just seems to make sense to me. Nobody, frankly, cares how hard you can throw a snowball, because we don't want anybody hurt. It should be fun and silly, and when someone gets hurt, it's not fun and silly. So please be thoughtful. And then again, if you want to throw snowballs, you have to be down in the mix. If you want to throw snowballs, you have to be down in the mix. And if you're throwing snowballs from up on top down into the group, and then you're not able to be thrown at because you're on the courts, that's not fair. So anyway, let's just keep those rules in mind. We've had enough snow where we know the rules by now. All right. Okay, let me pull up my notes here. And let's see. All right. All right. So continuing on in this Easter season, we're looking yesterday at Colossians 2:13 to 15. Um, and they're basically talking about that these people live in an occupied territory, and and we also live in an occupied territory. We live in a world that has been invaded by sin and death. So our world is occupied by sin and death. We don't think about it as we're occupied by people. We think about it as we are occupied by sin and death, like it has invaded us. It has invaded your life and my life. And so we think of sin as sort of a personal thing, maybe a link that I click on, or a video that I watch that I shouldn't watch, or a word that I say that I shouldn't say, using God's name in vain, not being respectful of the adults in your life, teachers, and the adults in your home, cheating on a test, those types of things, having AI write a paper for you, right? We think of those as sort of individual sins, but there's also sort of big giant sins, right? This occupying force of sin and death. It's a power that has just totally invaded our lives, and so outside of Christ, right? When we do not have that personal relationship with Jesus Christ, then sin is a power that sort of reigns over us. It takes over. It has invaded our entire creation. So the idea is just to look around, right? If you don't believe me, look around, and you'll see the power of sin and death everywhere. It's at work in our world. Anyone that just sort of pays a little bit of attention recognizes that there's a lot of sin and death and just crud in our world. So the beautiful part is God recognized that, and sent Jesus down to die for us and to take on sin and death, because with Jesus, when we have that relationship with Jesus, sin and death does not win. Sin and death does not win. When we have that relationship, Jesus triumphs over sin and death. The cross is the victory. The resurrection is evidence of the victory. Okay? So Jesus came down, he took on sin and death for us. And then that victory that he won over sin and death, that means we get to live in hope every single day. We get to live in hope. And even though some days we're just discouraged and it seems like the power of sin and death is going to win, they don't. Jesus disarms them, and he triumphs over them through the power of the cross. So yeah, sometimes you just look around this world, you're like, oh my word, sin and death is just winning at every corner. Wars and all that, how people are treated. But Jesus has come down and won. Jesus is the victory. The cross is the victory. So anyway, thought that was super encouraging. Sin and death, the enemies of God, right? Sin and death are the enemies of God. They will not win because Jesus wins. So live in that hope. All right, love you all. We'll see you in the halls. Take care. Bye.